Hello everyone, Alex the RC Freak here, coming at you with a video of my Traxxas x-maxx Generation 2 6S version. This has not been updated to the 8S power-up kit. And yes, I am running the Castle Creations 800 kV motor, 5th scale, and the Castle Creations XLX ESC with cat pack. This is a video of how to replace the cooling fans for the speed control and the motor. They're about a year old on both of them because I got the Castle Creations 2028 cooling fan, a dual cooling fan setup on the stock 1600 kV motor for the x-maxx, and that motor handled 8S perfectly fine because I ran it with the Castle Creations ESC and the 1600 kV motor on 8S for like 6 months, and I beat the crap out of that motor and it handled it just fine, no problems at all. No, I do not run any of my vehicles through any sort of water. So if you're one of those people with the x-maxx that, in my opinion, do stupid stuff with driving it through a lake or driving across water, and you have bearings seasoned up and all that stuff, that's probably because you didn't take the time to take apart the rig completely, everything, all the differentials completely apart, all the spider gears inside the differentials completely apart, to clean them, re-grease them, everything immediately after that run. Most people don't do that. They just stick them in the closet or stick them in the garage or wherever they store their RC cars, and they don't do that. This is a video of how to replace those cooling fans, because these cooling fans quit working on me. So my assumption is the cooling fans died. They're a year old, they're gonna wear out, and I try to keep my rigs as clean as possible. I have not driven this truck in probably about 5 months. I haven't really did much to it. I've had some pretty sick family and grandparents that they're really not doing well, and I'm trying to do my best to keep the videos coming to you guys. I appreciate anybody that watches my videos. So thank you again, everybody. I love you guys for watching my videos. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to, ask me anything. I'll do my absolute best to answer them to the best of my knowledge. But here's my Traxxas x-maxx. I have the stock body clear. I custom painted it. It's a metallic black pearl. You can't really see it in this lighting, and I apologize for that. In the sunlight, it looks amazing. This body has been driven about one time. I did that blue, I did the black in the vents there, silver grill. That didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to, but I still think the body looks awesome. I think it makes the truck look awesome. I got a Ford Raptor body too that looks really snazzy. Custom made shock covers, the wheelie bar. I purchased this off eBay, and this has the 6S axles, these little drive cups here. It has these 6S little drive cups there. The axles, the stub axles, the pins are all 6S. The spur gear with the slipper clutch assembly, all 6S. This thing has not been updated at all, and it's been handling it just fine. For anyone who is a x-maxx owner of the older generations, this truck can handle it just fine. Just so you know, at least from my personal experience. That's all I'm talking about. I can't speak for other people's rig. I can't speak for your rig. I don't know how well you maintain your rig. I don't know if you're one of those people with the x-maxxers. I see a lot of x-maxx owners just beat the snot out of them and put them away. They never do any maintenance. They never look at the differentials. They never, And yes, I got the Traxxas spiral cut gears in here. I've never had a problem with the stock diff gears, ever. And I beat the snot out of them. I did donuts on concrete to see if I could mess them up, to see if what people were saying are true. I never had a problem. My personal experience. I got the spiral cuts in here. Never had a problem. They haven't gave me any sort of problem. I've landed jumps probably at least 10 feet in the air, easy, and on throttle, and still didn't mess them up. They don't make any clicking noise, and that's a symptom of bad differentials, if they make a clicking noise, kind of a clacky, metal noise. But I know I'm getting off subject here. I apologize, but let's take off this body and show you what I got going on here. Take that. Look at that. That looks good. Good looking truck, I think. I got stainless steel screws for these that I'll put in later. I gotta find them. I set them somewhere. I got more than one RC car, trust me. I got a lot. So I got a 48 tooth pinion gear on this motor. The only problem I've had, see that big huge bolt right there? That bolt, I used blue Loctite. It kept loosening on me, and I used a high quality actual Loctite brand. And now I used red Loctite from the Loctite name brand, and it stayed in there. But this is from Kershaw Designs. It's a great pinion gear. These threads were messed up, so the grub screw got all, you know, messed up. So no big deal. I rethreaded it. I had a tap and die set. I rethreaded it, got this bolt in there. You know, I got a 54 tooth plastic spur gear, which has worked great. I do have the 46 tooth steel Kershaw one, and it's really scary fast on this gearing. 48, 46, it's geared pretty high, so you won't really pop wheelies from a dead stop. You know, if you get on it hard enough, you'll pop wheelies at speed. Like, you'll be doing 60 miles an hour and you'll pop wheelies at speed. So I changed the gearing, and that gearing is pretty loud, metal on metal, because that's high quality metal. It's pretty noisy when you hear it running. You know, you hear the gears whining. But this is the cooling fan that's in question. And my other one is right here. This is the cooling fan for the Castle one. So, as you probably noticed, this heat shrink has been replaced. I took off that clear stuff just because it looked cheap, and this kept kind of moving side to side. So, I cannot guarantee how easy it's going to be. I had to stretch this. I had 1 inch is the biggest I see, as you can see right there, 1 inch. That's the biggest heat shrink I could find in inside diameter. This needs to at least be a 2 inch inside diameter or more. So I stretched it out, kind of worked it all around, and ended up doing it. But just for anyone that knows that wants to do it, get a 2 inch inside diameter, and you probably have to find that online. Because I went to my local auto parts store and they, for battery cables, and they didn't have anything. But how this is going over this plastic top piece right here, I don't know if that's going to be a problem, because it fits over there really tight. If I get it off, I don't know if I'll be able to get it back on. So I might have to cut this, re-put another one on, and it takes a little while, so I probably won't post a video of that if it comes down to that. But anywho, that's the setup, that's the motor. This is the cooling fans. You just pop it off. You don't have to zip tie it down. These are the cooling fans. I'm pretty sure they died. I mean, look at, they look pretty old, and you know, they're getting older. But I got, you know, there's the motor. Literally on the chassis, center chassis piece right here, this motor literally takes up more than half of that. That's pretty beast of a motor. It's like the size of a 12-ounce pop can. So I got it, you know, I got so much upgrades on this thing, it's ridiculous. Ceramic bearing kit, you know, everything, differentials, you know, I shimmed all the differentials right out of the box. I dyed everything black right out of the box, and I bought it brand new. You know, I got custom made shock covers. See how they're kind of pretty, that sparkly blue in the sunlight there? See how it's kind of sparkly right there? They're just gorgeous in the sunlight. They really pop in direct sunlight. Oh god, they're pretty. My grandma custom made that for me. You know, I love my grandparents. You know, they're awesome. I couldn't ask for a better family. But I got aluminum shock caps. I got 8mm shock shaft conversion on this. So the bottom of the shock here, there's a little cap, bottom shock cap. That's aluminum. These are aluminum. The shaft is 8mm thick, hardened steel. These little rod ends on the bottom here are aluminum. You can't really see it because shock covers are in the way. But yeah, they were great. I'm not kidding you. I crashed this thing into my truck. I got a 1999 Ford Super Duty. Crashed it into it. And I was probably doing this. I was doing a speed run. I had it geared high. I was probably doing at least 60 miles an hour at least, and it popped a wheelie. And I didn't even see it coming. I was only like maybe 60 or quarter throttle. And I just gave it a little bit more gas to like half throttle really quick, and it popped a wheelie like nothing and just smacked right in the front of my truck. And you know, I snapped the chassis right here. I broke this diff cover. You know, I cracked it right here. You know, I broke these shock things. I snapped it like, I mean, it still was together, everything. It isn't like snapped off and hanging, but I mean, I broke these little rods down here. So I did some stuff to it. But anyway, let's get back to the cooling fans. So basically, here's the wire for the cooling fan. This is the cooling fan on you know. And what you'll need is a Phillips, kind of the thin. Now, note the thinness of this tip. See how thin that and pointy that is? And I think this is a number 1 Phillips. So you'll need that. Just loosen these screws right here. Now make sure to kind of put force down on them, because these are known for stripping because of Phillips. So just note when you do that, put force down on it, on these, but don't do, just put enough force to where it doesn't spin on there, you know, because you don't want it spinning. And just kind of make sure you have it seated correctly, because these screws right here are known for stripping. I mean, they're pretty easy to strip. I may try to find some stainless steel screws for it that give it a little bit added touch, because I got a stainless steel screw kit. I got the Hot Racing steel gears and the stock 6S steering servo for the x-maxx, you know. So I just got a ton done to this truck, and it's fast, you know, it really is. I just set up a modified thing for my radio so I can have like my cell phone and record while I drive it. So hopefully that'll work out. I'll try to get some videos done for you guys. I know you guys have been asking me to make a video of this truck, and I apologize. I'm really trying my best to do that for you. So I'm just going to try to force this up like that out of the way, just enough, so that way I don't have to worry about redoing this. But this is the fan. That's how easy it is to take off. The plastic's pretty flexible. You know, this part, with this little, this is the screen. It's a metal aluminum screen. It's still in great shape. But this part right here goes down towards this green face right here. That's how it goes. So just keep that in mind. Here's the new fan. Here's what you get. This is the Castle Creations 40mm fan. And you can probably find a computer fan to work just the same way. But this is what it looks like. Let's just do a little unboxing here. I know some people may hate unboxings, but it's what you gotta do sometimes. But yeah, there's the fan. Pretty nice looking fan. It comes with everything, all the hardware needed or necessary to complete the job. It looks like it comes with new screws. Awesome. And these are hex screw. I'll use these. Oh, sweet. I'll definitely use that. And it comes with a new Castle Creations cover, which there's nothing different on it. So, but yeah, this is the fan. Pretty cool fan, I think. Yeah, it's a computer fan. Look at that. See those little nuts? They go in there, and that plastic right there? This is a computer fan. This is a 40mm computer fan. Just note, the computer fan, if you go get one off eBay or whatever you shop, Amazon, which a lot of people do, will not have this connector on it. So you will need to solder one on if you have an extra one lying around from like a junk servo or something like that. So just keep that in mind for anyone who is thinking about doing that if you have this system or this speed control. And it doesn't have to be in an x-maxx. This system can be in a Baja 5B, 5T, 5SC, the new desert racing weirdo thing they have. I forgot the name of it. You know, low C5, whatever. You know, Rampage. This system can fit in a lot of fifth scale rigs for electric conversion. I love this conversion on the x-maxx. Yes, the x-maxx is expensive enough, but I tell you what, you think your x-maxx 8S stock 8S has power? It does, but this one is like another realm of power. Like it's ridiculous. It really is. It's not as high of kV. It's 800 kV, but this system has speed, it has power. That's why you have to put the bigger pinion on. But alright, so here we go. You're gonna need to grab your 2.5 wrench. Loosen these bolts up here. Sorry about that angle here. Doing this one-handed, so forgive me, please. You want to grab that, just loosen it up, you know. These are 30mm long, just so you know. They're 3mm by 30mm long, and they're a socket head style. You can get button head styles too. And if you want to, you know, get a stainless steel kit or whatever. Because this kit's from Kershaw Designs, by the way. The motor mount and ESC plate. So if anyone's wondering, these screws I'll put them in later, so I won't put that in the video. It's just replacing 2 screws. They're easy. They go in the exact same way you took them out. So, you know, reverse deal there. But let's just get this one out here. Yep, that one's loosened. And then just take it on out. Kind of a little snug in there. Then this should pop off to the side. Now I'll have to, on my rig, I'll have to cut all this, and I didn't do an install on this truck. You may be asking, did you guys ever do an install on this truck? No, I did not. There's a reason why. It takes a long time to install this. You gotta solder on all these connectors, these Castle 6.5 polarized bullet connectors. They're a great connector. They're a pain in the ass to stick together, like to stick in. I can't stand sticking them together, you know, popping them in that groove. They're just a pain. I don't want to cut any of the wires from my speed control. These aren't the best wire cutters. They're kind of dull. I've had them forever. They're, you know, it's getting ridiculous actually. But anyway, let me see if I can get a good video, a good picture of that. Work like I want it to. So basically I just gotta cut these down. You just kind of cut that and then still didn't cut it all the way. That's one thing I don't like about these smaller wire cutters is they don't really cut as good as the bigger, high quality ones. I mean, you can get cheap tools. This was just a cheap little tool that I got a while back. But yeah, so it doesn't look like I cut any of the wires. Nope. Yeah, they all look good. That one, yeah. Maybe a little bit of rubbing, because whatever. But, alright, so basically what you do to get to these bolts, you just pop these battery tray. I'll just pull this out, and there's a bolt. See that screw right there? 2.5 millimeter socket head style, right there. You loosen that one, and there's that one right down there. See, right there? See that second one? Back a little bit. You're going to have to loosen that one too. Now this top of the receiver box can kind of be a pain in the rear to get off. So just bear with me. And this is going to be a part 2 or 3, you know, on this video. Hopefully just a part 2. But I'm going to be stopping it pretty soon here. So let me just get these screws out. I don't like using power tools for the reason that you could strip out something. And this top of the receiver cover screws directly into the chassis. It's made into the chassis, the receiver box. So if you strip out, you have to get a new chassis. So I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to, you know, modify that. And some people put the 5th scale servo in here, which you have to cut off the receiver box that's molded into with the chassis to do it. And don't get me wrong, there's some really nice 5th scale servos out there, but I don't really want to have to cut my receiver box off and having receiver, you know, open or whatever, you know. So I'd rather just do the upgraded Traxxas servo. I think it'd be a decent servo for the x-maxx. It's like 450 ounces of torque. This one steers the wheels just fine. It's 360 ounces of torque, so, you know, I have the stock spring in there too, this, you know, servo saver spring, and it steers it just fine. I don't have any issues with the spring being too weak or whatever, you know. Works just fine for me. There's that screw right down there. You can see it. It's loosening up here. So then you just kind of take these off. Now you may want to grab some needle nose pliers and take out these screws right here, if possible. Kind of get your needle nose pliers in there. You may have to push your battery aside like that. Oh, sorry, I dropped that. I know, that's probably not the funnest noise to hear. Yeah, so you just flip over your battery tray here. Just grab needle nose pliers. It's kind of a pain to get this gotta kind of fight it out. It's not really the easiest. You know, they're kind of a pain in the ass, and it's not really wanting to come out. So sometimes you might be able to get it slid out. Yeah, this one I may be lucky today. This is like honestly a first time, really, no joke, with the screws in it. That's a first time right there. Usually it's never that easy for me on my own truck, and I only got one x-maxx. I don't have more than one. It's expensive enough. But you just move this to the side. Take all these wires out. I got an AVC receiver here for my Spectrum radio. Really nice receiver. You have to calibrate it for the thing. There's the old motor plug-in right there. It just goes to any channel. Doesn't really necessarily matter. I gotta cut all these, but I'm gonna cut this video right here, stop it. I'll cut all those zip ties and then get back to you. Alright, thank you for watching. Bye. Alex RC Freak out.